Looking to dominate the NFL Week 9 betting market? Coming off a very profitable Week 8, that's exactly what we're about to do. Welcome, football fans, to another edition of IDP Plus Bets. That is right, folks. I'm your host, the DGen Doc, and we are here in NFL Week 9. As I mentioned, a nice solid 4-2 last week, with 3 out of those 4 bets being 2-1 or better odds. So we had a nice cash. So hopefully you cashed in with us, and now we can do it all over again over an NFL Week 9. Let's look to sweep the board this week. Let's look to really have some profit. So, for those that do not know, this first time watching the show, pretty simple. I'm going to give out my best player props for this NFL Week 9 slate. 6 props spread all throughout, Sunday, Monday, different games. And these are the 6 props I'm targeting to go ahead and cash for NFL Week 9. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get it started. And we're actually going to start with one of the last games of the weekend, the Sunday night game. And we're talking about none other than Mr. Joe Flacco. Wow. Hey, so big news to this week. Anthony Richardson benched their first round draft pick, their quote unquote franchise quarterback. Not anymore. Benched Joe Flacco. And really the reason was performance. I mean, it's pretty clear to anybody with half a brain or just not blind. Joe Flacco gives this team the best chance to win, especially, coming out of the passing department. I mean, Anthony Richardson getting down to Tim Tebow, Jamarcus Russell level completion percentage, which is not exactly the company you want to be with when it comes to those things. So give me Joe Flacco over 1.5 passing touchdowns at plus 130, starting us off nice and easy with a plus 130 there. He's hit this in all 3 of his starts. You have a Vikings defense that, although the Vikings are a good team, have a pretty solid defense, they are very susceptible in the air, giving up almost 263 yards a game, one of the worst passing defenses in the league. They've also given up 14 passing touchdowns in comparison to only 3 rushing touchdowns. So as things get tight in the red zone, they tighten down that rush game, but they're still a bit leaky on the back end. So give me Joe Flacco over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Again, plus 130 to do something that he's done in every start this season. All right, from one quarterback to another, we're going from Indianapolis, but now we're talking Cincy, Mr. Joe Cool, Joe Burrow. But we're not praising the quarterback in this one because we're going to go Joe Burrow under 245.5 passing yards at plus 140. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bengals, good team. They're favorites by 7. They should absolutely blow out the Las Vegas Raiders, but not so fast, my friend. There's a couple reasons why I really like this play here. One, likely no T. Higgins again this week. We saw last week, and really the past almost years, what it's like to not have T. Higgins in that lineup. He means so much to that offense. That offense clearly does not click the same without him in it. They can key in on Jamar Chase a lot more and really have to let some of these other no-name guys kind of figure it out. To the likelihood of no T. Higgins. Also, the fact that he's hit this in the last 4 out of his 5 games. I mean, he is, the last year they were really throwing it all over the yard. I think that's what we're used to. But this has been a different approach a little bit more of the running game, or just really not as much success in the passing game. And then finally, the Raiders' passing defense actually is not bad. One of the tops in the NFL, only giving up about 189 or 190 yards per game. So he would still need 55 and a half more yards above what they're giving up just to get to that. But we're going to go with the under 245 and a half passing yards at plus 140. All right, now heading out to Duval. That's right, we're talking about Jacksonville Jaguar tight end Evan Engram. I'm going to go with over 65 and a half receiving yards at plus 180 there. No Christian Kirk out for the year with a broken clavicle. We've got Brian Thomas beat up with a rib injury. He's only been limited. Gabe Davis beat up with I believe it's a back injury or shoulder, excuse me. Gabe Davis injured with a shoulder, and they're limited practices right now. Nothing full, nothing set in stone. May expect those guys to play, but they're still going to be limited. And you've lost that kind of safety blanket over the middle in Christian Kirk. I think Evan Engram steps up nicely, has a nice day here. He's one of the only healthy options that Trevor Lawrence can trust. I think he's going to be targeted early and often. So I'm going to go with his over 65.5 receiving yards at plus 180. All right, folks, we are halfway through the show, which means we've got to tell you about all the awesome things we got going on here at IDP Plus. First up, if you are an IDP Plus fan and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Head on over to idpplus.com/membership. We've got a bunch of different subscriptions. And don't worry, I'm not just telling you about it. I'm going to give you 20% off with the promo code PROPS. So you want to make sure you get access to all those tools, data, IDP articles that are only for our subscribers. I write one where I break down the biggest injuries and tie it into how it affects the defensive side of the ball. And we also have our subscriber Discord, so make sure you don't miss out and join us today. All that will be in the show notes. Additionally, we've got idpplus.com/FanDuel, $50 in bonus bets when you deposit just $10. And don't worry, we do not discriminate because we got an idpplus.com/DraftKings. That's right, get $50 in bonus bets when you deposit $50. All right, folks, we're going to get right back into the betting action. And we're going to pick it up with the Las Vegas Raiders RB1, officially RB1, Alexander Mattison. We're going to go over 70.5 rush yards at plus 220. Again, as I mentioned, head coach Antonio Pierce said that he will be the RB1, the starter moving forward. He absolutely deserves it. Zamir White has been a shell of himself. He's been flat out awful. And Alexander Mattison has really taken advantage of his opportunity. So we're going to go over 70.5 rush yards at plus 220. He also presents a good matchup here, right? So he's going against the Mr. Joe Burrow and those Cincinnati Bengals. And that rush defense is very porous. I know they've made some improvements recently. However, they're still giving up almost 140 yards on the ground. I do not think it's crazy that the starting running back gets half of those in Alexander Mattison. All right, we're going to go to a game that is probably not going to be that fun to watch, but hey, for the prop market, it may make it worth it. We're going to go with Taysom Hill. That is right, folks. We are going with Taysom Hill, looking to pull up his graphic here momentarily if we can. But we're going to go with Taysom Hill to do just this. If it ever, there it is. Whew. Technical difficulties. Appreciate y'all for hanging in there. Taysom Hill, anytime touchdown at plus 230. All he's got to do is touch Pater. Look, he's getting healthy off that rib injury. I think he's going to get a little bit more involved in the offense. And they're going up against a Carolina team that just lets everybody score. So why not get in on Taysom Hill plus 230? Anytime they're around the goal line, he's absolutely a threat to take it kind of out of the Wildcat or do a QB sneak. So you can get it there. You can get some type of long run or receiving. So just like Taysom Hill, anytime touchdown, plus 230. I think it's a big Taysom Hill day to remind us how versatile and good of a player he really is. And then the last one, the long shot. And it's a pretty damn long shot this week. We are going to the Monday night game where we're going to be targeting Chiefs wide receiver Xavier Worthy. 70 plus receiving yards at plus 550. Now, there's a couple reasons I'm targeting Worthy, and it starts with the team he's playing. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have had one of the worst defenses, both pass and rush, but more so pass defenses this season. It's been very rough. It's not a typical Todd Bowles defense. They're very beat up on the back end, and I don't expect them to be able to magically turn it on against the Chiefs. I think this is a good coming out party for the Chiefs. I think they'll get to show some of their new weapons. Get Kelsey involved. You can get DeAndre involved. But I really think Xavier Worthy is the guy that's going to take the top off this defense. This defense has been susceptible to some big plays. Rashad Bateman just went for over 100 yards there. And Darnell Mooney would have hit this. I think Xavier Worthy kind of fits that role. He is a flyer. I think he only really needs like 2 catches to get this if he's kind of hitting at the clip that he's hitting at. So I really like Xavier Worthy this week. So give me his 70 plus receiving yards at plus 550. All right, folks, we're going to do a quick recap of all the bets, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. So, best bets for NFL Week 9. We've got Mr. Joe Flacco over 1.5 passing touchdowns at plus 130. We got Joe Burrow under 245.5 passing yards at plus 140. We got Evan Engram over 65.5 receiving yards at plus 180. We got Alexander Mattison over 70.5 rushing yards at plus 220. Taysom Hill anytime touchdown at plus 230. And then the big one, Xavier Worthy, 70 plus receiving yards at plus 550. All right, folks. Hey, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed listening to me giving out my picks. But as a new channel, as a new show, I just want to say we appreciate any feedback that you give to us, any comments, likes, things you like, things you don't like, any comments, feedbacks. And then also, if you have not liked and subscribed, please help us out and do that. If you're interested in more of a live stream format, Thursday nights, I break down the Thursday night game and go live there. Cashed out pretty nicely, was pretty heavy on the under and hit a couple sack markets, went the under on Rodgers passing yards there. So we had a blast, hit an 850 the week before, anytime touchdown, Josh Oliver. So we have some fun there on Thursday Night Live. But as always, we will be back with the Sunday night 6 prop bets that we love. We've had 5 out of the last 6 weeks been profit. 4-2 last week with a lot of juicy plus money. So let's continue that momentum this week. All right, folks, from the DJ Knock here at IDT Plus, I am out of here.
Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.